Happy Thursday, everybody. It's August 24th, and I have more close profit to show. 77.83% profit on my MaverickFX account right now. Now, as you guys know, this account was running at 5 times the risk. Now it's just running at 2 times the risk because I have enough funds, more funds in this account. It was started out at 200 or 250. And so it was running my strategy at the lowest I could, which is 0.01 lots for each trade. But since the account size was only 200 or 250, it was running my strategy at a lot higher risk. Now I've recommended that my strategy should be run at 0.01 lots for every 1,000 for in the account using a 100-to-1 leverage. And since my account size was too small, it means I was over-risking the risk on this particular strategy. But it's been working out very well. There was a period of 30% drawdown, but the profits have been pretty substantial. So this week, 3%, this month, 20%, and today, 1%. So this is my friend's account of $18,758. Been going very well. This week, 50%, 0.5%. This month, 1.74%. In particular, it's a little bit lower because of the loss that he took himself. He took a manual trade, didn't work out. So things going well there. Robert's account. Now we just hit a threshold of 17%, 0.27. 0.56 and then 2.23% for the month, which is $2,759. So things have been going very well on this account, especially this week with 0.5%. So I'm pretty happy with that. Drawdown is still very, very low on this account. So good times. All right. This is my scalping strategy that I'm going to show you here during this video a little later on. So let's go into the trades setup that actually took place in this week at least. So the trades were slightly different on the MaverickFX account. You can see here the entry. There was 2 trades there. So 2 trades in this area. I like the inside candle setup here because of the volatility. Really big bearish candle followed by a nice inside. When you see the volatility happening like this, where you have a big bearish candle followed by a pretty good sized bullish inside candle, that means that the push down abruptly stopped with the inside candle setup, and this typically shows a good chance for a bounce, immediate bounce. And, it took about an hour, but then it did bounce back up, and my trades ended up on all accounts closing out here. On MaverickFX, they closed out a bit earlier because of the earlier entries. Now I can show you that to you real briefly. Okay, here they are here. So this is Robert's managed account. You can see that the trades were entered a bit earlier, and I showed this yesterday. First entry, close out for profit, and then the shoot back down. So nice, lucky closeout here. Okay, so the second entry, and that was yesterday, during the course of the night, was inside candle set up here, and then the entry right after that. It looked like the spread was a bit high. Again, well, it was actually pretty average, about 5 pips, which is standard. In this entry I like this one too because it just broke the previous low and resistance. This was acting as a support level. It broke that, and then there was usually when it breaks, it just barely breaks it, and then I get an inside candle. It's a good chance for a recovery or a pullback, and then a continuation back down. Now I didn't quite get that pullback. It was very small. There was only a few pips, 20 or so pips, maybe less, and then a shot back down. So I entered on the way down, entered 3 trades, and then it finally got that pullback. That pullback was pretty substantial from the bottom order. It was well, 50 pips, and then I took 30 pips from the middle order, or the second order, and then about 15 or so pips from the first order. So we're close to about 100 pip gain there, about 95 pips on the pound Canadian dollar. And I took a couple of positions on or my expert advisor took a couple of positions on the euro pound. So the inside candle set up there. First entry, whole number at 0.92. And thought this was a good place, a good chance for this to push down, and obviously it didn't happen. I shot about 30 pips higher up, and then it came back down. So interesting behavior up there. The whole number, although the two candles showing that this could push down, it was just canceled out and shot back up another 30 pips, and then it fell back down. So I'm not really sure if this was a hold of the whole number or not, because it did kind of this. Typically at whole numbers, my pairs will do a little bit of ranging near the whole number before eventually they either break through or on the downside, or they break up on the upside. So who knows if this was an actual hold at the whole number or not, but it worked out for me well with just 2 orders, and I came out with a bit of profit. Now, this wasn't much here. I closed it out early, about 15 or 16 pips from the top, and a small loss from the lower order. So I only took about 10 pips profit on this position, on these 2 trades here. Okay, so this is the one I actually took a small loss on, but because of the profit on the pound Canadian dollar, I was able to come out with an overall profit, even when taking a small loss. Since I took a $3 loss on that pair, and a $7 profit, almost $8 profit on that one. So yeah, I took a small loss on this because it was just going down a bit too much. Inside candle, it did move up here, shot back down, entered a second, entered a third, and just closed them out here before the inside candle. Another inside candle showed up. So since that one showed up, another entry came in, and looking for a push up here. This inside candle looks real good, similar to the one I was pointing out earlier on the pound Canadian dollar. Good volume and volatility here, nice full inside candle setup. Indecision candles happening right now. I like the look of this, what's going on here. This candle will close in about 10 minutes, and see how this one works out. If it closes with a nice full body, I would think that there's a really good chance for this to bounce up here. So anybody that's wanting to take an odd Canadian dollar trade right now, this might be a good place to enter. All right, let's see. So that's about it for my trade updates on the actual trades themselves. And I'm testing a bunch of other strategies to see what's to come for my trading. And one of those is the scalping strategy that I'm working on right now. So this strategy is basically what I'm doing on the RMI inside candle setup, but slightly different. The setup is different, but the risk management and is similar. So the big differences are the entry is based on volume in the market, and the exit is based on overall profit amongst all the pairs. So right now I'm in $1.50 profit, and the trades will close out once a certain profit amount is hit. And this is a martingale strategy. It's a little bit risky, but so far it's been working out. But I'm a little bit worried about the margin requirements with my trading account. You guys can see that this is a live account. This is real. Yeah, I am testing this, but this is a real money account. Look up here. I mean, I'm circling it out now, but this is a live Oanda account. So this is $9,575 of my money, and I'm testing a scalping strategy. And it's been going very well so far since I started this week with $75 profit on this account. You can see the profit here. Let it refresh. Okay, so not a lot of profit today, just $5, but this week it's 0.44% profit, which is $42. This month it's been going okay, but the thing is with this, I just started this strategy on this account not too long ago. I was using another strategy earlier. It was the RMI inside candle strategy earlier back in July. And also partly in August as well. So the strategy is still new. Things are going well, but I'm not sure how much of detail I want to go into it, because this isn't about showing the exact way of trading my accounts. It's about progress report on how things are going managing these funds. And not going into the nitty-gritties of the strategy, at least not yet. So I'm trading on. You can see that I'm trading on 3 pairs, the same ones I typically do: the Euro Pound, the Pound Canadian Dollar, and the Odd Canadian Dollar. It's a martingale strategy. I go into trades every 20 pips, and I close out in a specific way. And this strategy showed some really good potential, but my biggest problem is going to be margin. I'm going to have lower margin at points. Recently, I almost had to close out for a 4% loss because my margin was running out. So that's the problem with a scalping strategy. Is typically, well, not all scalping strategies have this problem, but they could potentially run into margin issues, especially if you're scalping martingale and basket trading in one. So your risk has to be really, really low. As you can see, I'm trading at 0.01 lots for a $10,000 account. All right, so maybe I'll go more into the strategy later on, but for the purposes here, I'm not using this and don't plan on using it yet on the big accounts. I need about another probably few weeks of testing before this can be trusted. And I don't think it's going to work out for using it on the larger accounts because of the potential margin issues with that. Alright, so real fast, we're going to go into some community questions for the last couple of minutes. And Cliff has wrote in, oh, and also Fat Kumo, thanks for the compliment, Fat Kumo. And yes, the RMI is a very good confirmation, and it's fairly reliable from broker to broker. So you will get differences with inside candles setups from broker to broker. So for example, Fat Kumo, you may get an inside candle setup that I don't get on my broker. In most cases, you'll probably, my guess is about 90% from broker to broker, you'll get trades. So 1 in 10 trades will be slightly different than what I get at my broker. So Cliff is asking that do you have a spread filter? So one of my trades, and this is the one that I was talking about. So this particular trade went in with a more than 7 pip spread. It was about 7.5 pips spread. So I got kind of murdered on the spread there. But the thing is that I do have a filter in place. The filter is a 10 pip spread filter. So if the spread is more than 10 pips, then I will not enter the trade. And that's automatic. That's built into the Expert Advisor's code. So you can actually do that yourself if you're wanting to build an Expert Advisor. You can tell the coder to integrate a spread filter. So that's pretty cool. And you're asking about also about the scalping and backtesting history. So backtesting history can be a little bit tricky. You can download it online from third parties, and you can download tick history. So the tick history is 99% accurate in most cases, depending on where you buy it from, or download it from. But I actually do my testing on Oanda because that's where I'm using my expert advisor in most cases, and I want the Oanda to grab Oanda's history data because that's, to me, is more accurate because I'm using that broker. Now, if I go back into older previous history, probably prior to 2010, before Oanda was even in business, I don't really know where they were pulling their data from. So that's something that I could probably look into. But it's not really just about the strategy, guys. The strategy can be profitable. My strategy has shown that it's very profitable over many years of time. But that might not hold up. Just because it was profitable back last year does not mean it's going to be profitable this year. So it's something that I'm constantly trying to work with, and that all of us traders have to work with. Just because something's profitable in the past doesn't mean it will be profitable in the future. And as traders, we always feel like we're one step behind because the market changes before we can change with it. It has to do something first before we follow, and so I'm constantly having to try to deal with that in my strategy. And so that's why I'm always thinking about ideas of pushing my strategy so it adapts better to the future, potentially adapts better to the future market. So that's why I've made some changes recently that I haven't really gone a lot over in these recent videos, but because I am more focused on showing you the performance of what I'm doing on larger accounts of $180,000 or more, or trading funds. The largest account that I'm trading is $126,000, but the total fund size is $180 at this current moment. All right, so I showed you a little bit about the Cliff about the scalping strategy. I didn't go into great details on that, but hopefully you can do some Google searches on tick history for MT4 if you really wanted to find ways of integrating into MT4. You can do that. You can download it online and then integrate it into MT4 and use that tick history. I feel like the strategy doesn't make a difference if it's run on tick history as opposed to data at your current broker. You just need to see if the strategy is profitable, and if it's profitable, it will be profitable on the tick history from the third-party source or from at your standard broker. All right. Like I was saying before, the strategy is important, but it's not the key. Being able to adapt as a trader with your risk management and with your ideas to push your strategy to the next level and to constantly adapt it, that is, I say it's not about the strategy, but it's actually about adapting the strategy to make it work with the current market and also potentially with the future market. All right, I think that's it for today. If I have more profitable trades tomorrow, or maybe today, we'll see, with this odd Canadian dollar trade. Let's see if it closes out in profit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe I'll see you guys next week or Friday, but so far things are going well. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.